Thank you all for joining us this morning to explore the implications of paying ransom in cold hard cash to the world's worst state sponsor of terrorism. Judge Mukasey, I just want to be sure I'm clear about your legal assessment on these matters. As you wrote in the Wall Street Journal, you believe that the cash transfer was legal, though not right.
Correct.
It's been reported there were at least 2 wire transfers to Iran in the last year plus. One was in the summer of 2015 to settle some claims about architectural drawings, fossils, maybe some other artifacts. One was over our purchase of heavy water earlier this year. Do you believe those wire transfers were legal?
Yes. The short answer is I don't know the circumstances surrounding those transfers, but I know nothing that challenges their legality.
So if they're both legal, transferring cash and a wire transfer, then do you know why the administration would have chosen to pay this $400 million in cash as opposed to making a wire transfer?
I don't know. I think it is a sensible conclusion that that term was insisted upon by the Iranians.
So it was a policy decision then, not a legal decision?
Definitely not a legal decision.
Judge Mukasey, Ambassador Edelman, you've both sat in NSC meetings, in principal committee meetings, in deputy committee meetings. At what level of our government would you expect that kind of policy decision to be made?
Well, I would expect it to at least have gone to a principals committee meeting and probably a full NSC with the president in attendance.
Likewise, I would expect it to go to the highest level.
And Ambassador Edelman, you've spent some time dealing with Iran and in the Middle East throughout your career. If Judge Mukasey's surmise is correct and that it was a demand of the Iranian government that $400 million be transferred in cash, not over wires, do you have any estimates over which element of the Iranian government would have requested that cash payment?
You know, it would be pure speculation, Senator Cotton, but presumably you could imagine it would be the IRGC, which may have played a role in the transfer. We don't know. Again, it's one of the details that would be good to find out.
Not the Ministry of Health?
I somehow doubt that.
Or the Ministry of Transportation?
Well, we actually know that after the payments were made, that the Iranian military budget was plussed up, interestingly, by $1.7 billion. Now, whether that money stays with the military budget, which was just finalized in August, or whether that money, is made available to the IRGC in some fashion, we just don't know.
Judge Mukasey has explained it's very hard to track cash, almost impossible, and you might only discover years later in whose hands it was found, and you don't know whose hands it's passed through. Would you be surprised to find some of that cash in the hands of, say, Lebanese Hezbollah in a year or 2 or 3 years, Ambassador Edelman?
Not in the least.
Would you be surprised to find it in, say, the hands of Doctors Without Borders or other international NGOs performing humanitarian work?
That would be a first in my experience.
Thank you. Since you have spent a lot of time in the Middle East, Ambassador, is this a region where leaders of states understand and depend upon power and will, or do they respect law and rhetoric?
Well, I would say power is at a premium in this region, one of my concerns is that we should always, in dealing with countries in this region, and it goes beyond Iran, I would say the same of Turkey, where I was ambassador, by emphasizing our own clear adherence to the rule of law and how we conduct ourselves.
A common phrase in communications, whether it's politicians or businessmen, negotiators, is it's not what you say, it's what people hear. Many U.S. government officials, from our president down to low-level functionaries, have repeatedly said that this was not a ransom payment. That's what they are saying. What do you think the Ayatollahs in Tehran, and for that matter, every other bad actor throughout the Middle East or around the world, hear whenever they hear that we transferred $400 million on the same weekend that we received American hostages?
Well, again, it requires one to make a surmise, Senator Cotton, but my surmise, as I stated in my written statement, is that on the Iranian side, there was clearly a belief that this payment was being made in exchange for the hostages, and that was articulated by at least one commander of the IRGC who was quoted to that effect in the press.
Thank you all.